Today we're going to be doing part 1 of our Juji Gatame from the bottom series. Okay guys, to do Juji Gatame from bottom, I want to control one arm first. So just for an example, I'm going to control his right arm with my left hand. I want to grab his wrist and climb it as high on my chest as I possibly can. I want to try to avoid grabbing the gi because the gi will slide up and down his arm and I won't have as much control. So ideally I'm going to try to grab the wrist and hug it tight to my chest as high as I can so it starts to extend this arm. Once I lock this arm to my chest, the same side, I'm going to load my foot in his hip. That's going to give me a launching point to help turn my body. Once I'm set and I'm loaded, this free leg is going to come straight up into his armpit, okay? So I've got my wrist, I've loaded my foot, my free leg comes straight up to the armpit. This now allows me to get out of the way of myself so I can turn my hips 90 degrees. I want my 2 hip bones to be perpendicular to his 2 shoulders. Right now they're parallel, I want them perpendicular. So by keeping this locked tight, I turn my hips perpendicular, keeping this locked tight to my chest. Now this leg that went up, clamps straight down for control. Now that I've got a good bite on his shoulder, this leg is going to come back into play. I don't want to just take my foot and put it across his face. I can make it a lot tighter by extending this leg and opening my hip wide. When I open my hip, I'm going to push my pelvis up into this shoulder, into his armpit. So I open, push, and get a deep bite. Now I'm going to have 2 different pressures. 1, 2. I don't want to lock my feet here. It's not as powerful as if I have 2 different pressures. Now, this arm is already on my chest. So I keep his pinky down, and slowly for my partner, I'm going to extend my hips. Okay? Or from here, if he starts to defend his arm and grab his hand, he's going to hook his wrist. Boom, from here, I can come inside the thigh and actually dump him to his back. And now I'm upright and I'm more mechanically advantageous to actually lay back with the arm. And finish with Juji Gatame. Alright guys, so same thing, just from a different angle, so you can see the opening of the hip here and what that's doing to bite into this armpit. So same side, same everything, grabbing the wrist, locking it tight to my chest, nice and high. Loading the hip on the same side, my leg comes straight up into his armpit, I rotate my pelvis 90 degrees, boom. I'm nice and perpendicular now, keeping this wrist locked tight. I clamp, and now, again, I don't just try to climb my leg and put it here. It's much tighter if I open this hip and I have a pocket that his shoulder is now going to fall into. And I push my pelvis up and get a deep bite. 2 separate pressures, 1, 2, pull down the arm. All right, guys, same thing. Again, now you can see the right side of the body. Locking the wrist to the chest, loading the hip on the same side of the body. Leg comes up into this armpit, nice and relaxed. And I rotate 90 degrees, keeping the wrist tight, clamp down, big open swing, clamping the head, finishing from here, or again, if he defends his wrist, that's okay. I come inside the thigh, I use my legs to push his shoulders, and this arm to push his hips over. Sit back into Juji Gatame. Alright guys, that was part 1 of Juji Gatame from bottom series. Make sure to watch part 2 so you can see the next transition. From Legacy Martial Arts Academy, we'll see you guys next time.